everyone. It's the West Ham Irons channel. It's the first one in the series. It's a match day morning show with me, so I'll try to get these out. Literally what it says on the morning of the match. So I'm recording it quite early on Saturday. Unfortunately, I won't be at the London Stadium. I've got a family event to attend today, but hoping to certainly get my tickets for the League Cup. Carabao Cup game at Bournemouth really be one of the few chances for you guys as well to attend the London Stadium if your finances are fairly tight, looking at all the prices we looked at yesterday. So yesterday was great. We did a couple of shows, so thank everyone joining in the mad 2-hour live show we did during the days and odd time. Well, I thought I'd go live. I do find it a challenge to do the channel with my quite challenging, aggressive full-time job I've got. But I seriously do enjoy it. I enjoy the interaction with you guys. It's like a family. So we went live for the first time yesterday since I moved over to this platform a couple of months ago. And it was good seeing all the old names, the old banter, the old, I was going to say the old faces, but you know what I mean. And still we had one or two technical issues over how to get the comments on the screen, and wasn't quite happy the way the platform worked, but maybe it's something I'm doing wrong. But anyway, that's for me to sort out, not your issue. But yeah, welcome to Matchday Morning Show. I think looking at the latest subscriber count, 2971, 2970, we're literally 29 or 30 away, aren't we, from hitting 3,000. I think we're just going to fall short. Unless someone's got 25 kids somewhere or whatever family, I don't know. But I was hoping to hit the 3,000 subs. But again, I haven't done that many shows this week. I don't know how the other channels do it, mate, but I've got a life, I've got a family, I've got a really great corporate job I have to give time to, as well as my garden, as well as my lovely cat Ruby. So it is what it is. I don't know how they do it, mate, churning out video after video. They must literally nail themselves to the chair and not eat anything, not go out. I don't think none of them go out. I just say it the way it is. It's just ridiculous. And I know it is what it is, and I know a couple of them is their full-time job, so I kind of get that. I wish it was mine, but perhaps, I don't know, I don't think I'd make enough money out of it. Not the way my family spends money anyway. But this is just a relaxed one. Usually, maybe in the future, I'll have a cup of tea with me. The wife's not here, so I'm too lazy to make it myself. I might get into trouble for that, so God bless her. She does some nice work one day a week. She's just like a finance director, really high level corporate job, but she finds time one day a week to help out the Samaritan. So she's doing an early shift, start at 5 a.m, then we're driving to Leicester later on to see her brother, like I said, the family event. So I think I need to do a bit more of that, a bit more work for charity and things like that. It's always good for you. Good feel good factor, shall I say. So I encourage everyone to do that. Help all kinds of cases and situations in society. We should all do that. Sometimes we feel, there's issues in our own life, but when you really think about it, there's so many people out there in a worse situation than us. So every time you wake up, sort of, if you're religious, thank God for kind of whatever situation you're in. At least you're always better off than someone else, I think, and help. But anyway, you know what jazz is like, going in a different tangent. Anyway, let's get back to the game. Season started yesterday, and I knew what was going to happen yesterday watching the Man United Fulham, because Fulham missed chance after chance, didn't look like scoring, didn't have the cutting edge. And I was telling my son, it's typical Man United that Man United at home to Fulham, and he looked at the possession stats, which were quite equal. You looked at goals on target and think quite equal. United were on top by not that much, right? Which you would never expect in a normal Man United Fulham game at Old Trafford. But United stole it in the end. I knew it was going to happen. So the new striker came on. Really good finish. And goes back to what I was saying. You know me, my regulars. Buy a striker. They cost the most money for a reason. They've got the DNA of a striker. If you look at that finish from the new boy, I didn't quite know how he did it, but when you really watch the slow motion, it's a great finish. And strikers use any part of their body to get it over the line, and it's just that instinct is what you pay for, right? Which I always go back to with Antonio. God bless him, he's helped us over the years, but he's not really naturally that kind of striker. He's a bit of a bulldozer, bit physical, different attributes, but he doesn't find it easy to run into space, make a run, foresee a situation, that kind of thing, and smart finishes he doesn't do. He put him clean through with just a goalkeeper to beat. 8 out of 10 times he'll miss. So it is what it is, but I do love strikers, and of course we bought one. Home to Aston Villa, 5:30 kickoff. Listening to lots of different shows, different people, some of our ex-players making their predictions. I hate making predictions, as you know. My prediction, I'm going for 7th spot. I know that, but bear in mind, like I keep saying, be happy, back the manager, back the players, back the club, and just be patient. It's a 2-year plan. He's got a 2-year contract to get West Ham into Europe, and we're hoping he does it. The board have done really, really well, got him more than enough players that you would have thought. Some of you might be thinking it's too many. What the hell? How are we going to gel them in? It could disrupt our season. It happened at Forest, but then Forest are buying a different level of players. Our guys, a lot of very seasoned professionals, brilliant, brilliant players. A lot of them were the best players at the club we bought them from. That's how high they are. So the tools the manager has been given is brilliant. I expect him, once the season starts, to obviously, begin to really press his ideas on how he wants to play, what he wants from the players. But I think he's been fairly quick in terms of who he wants, who he doesn't, in and around the squad. And I think you guys can guess that as well. We'll go into that in a minute. Again, like you said, I'm really keen to get back into this stats and tactics thing. You know, I'm doing a separate show and I've done 2 already, and thank you for the feedback. I'll get even more in depth into that, and perhaps even into the opposition in time, not at the moment really. So I think that'll happen. And then I think I expect his backroom team, I expect 1 or 2 new people to come into that. It takes time to recruit those type of people. I expect at least 1 or 2 to come into that as the months go by. Bowen, as you know, has been named a new West Ham captain this week. Very well deserved. My favourite player. He joins the illustrious list of West Ham legends. You all know who they are. I put that list up a couple of shows ago. I don't want to do that again. Brilliant, brilliant. And he's a nice guy. Signed a long-term contract. I think he's naturally very at home at the club, especially with the in-laws or West Ham fans, so you can't get away from it. Nicely settled with a couple of twins and kids and that. So good boy, nice family, down to earth, leaves it all out there, which West Ham fans love. You know, gives 120%. Helped out front as well, more than capable of doing so much. Such a reliable member. West Ham team. Very happy that he managed to join the Euro squad. Didn't get in that many minutes, but when he did, he looked effective. But then he's kind of fighting with Saka on that front, and don't want to go into that debate, but it is what it is. My feelings, I will finish 7th. The other thing is, it's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride, everyone, you know. I don't know why I'm saying 7th is in my heart or my head. I haven't made up my mind yet, you know. I could have said 10th, and because that is what I think was a reasonable sort of target for him. But as the windows develop, more money's come in, as well as don't forget that we've got a good set of players already. That's very easy to forget. So I'm just going to go for 7th. It'll be lovely to get back into Europe. You know, we've enjoyed it last 3-4 years or whatever, and I think we had a really good team. Well, probably the best thing Moyes did was that we were very good in Europe. I know the opposition, the Conference League, even in Europa, British teams find it fairly easy getting to the last 8, as an example. But we were very good in Europe, wasn't it? Moyes' side was very disciplined, very tough to break down. And we were reasonably strong and strength and fairly kind of fit, weren't we? I like to see. So I hope Lopetegui carries that forward. As well as transfer window for other clubs. I think we've been the busiest. We've spent probably the 4th, 5th most money. Brought in 8 players, I think, and I think 1 or 2 more to follow. We're still trying to get rid of Danny Ings. Zuma's in UAE. We're inviting offers for, I think, a Gerd. If something could be done. Cornet, I think. Cornet got a lot of time in pre-season. It's just not happening for him. Whether the injuries have taken their toll, I don't know. But he looked a very, very good player when we signed him from Burnley. I had a lot of good time for him. But the thing what happened with him is, like, similarly to a lot of the players David Moyes used to sign that weren't perhaps his players, we'll never know. Kudus is an example. You might have forgotten. All these players, including Kudus, come off the back of a season where they've been absolutely brilliant. That's why we signed them. What does Moyes do? They're not match fit. Oh, we're going to take 8 weeks for them before they can start a game. I don't think Kudus started a Premiership League game for many, many weeks. It could be over a month or even over 2. I can't remember exactly. It took him a long time. And I was like, what are you doing? And Cornet was the same. Cornet was fully fit. I don't know what happened in training. He had very good years at Burnley under Sean Dyche. And Sean Dyche knows if something's wrong with a player, he done very well for him. Just didn't play him. He played a couple of times in kind of Europa with Scamacca. They linked up very, very well. I remember Cornet running havoc against the Chelsea game. It just didn't give him any game time. It's really weird what Moyes used to do with some of these players. Stuck to his favourites. Souček could have a bad game, but he'll always be in the team. I think we nicknamed Moyes, he's kind of adopted father, wasn't it, really? So very, very odd things happen there. I'm hoping all of these players have come in are largely Lopetegui and Tim Steiten's joint agreement, because then when you think about it, Tim Steiten didn't get on with David Moyes. A lot of stupid things happened between them. So Steiten largely had an influence in bringing Lopetegui in. So naturally there's a good relationship there, which is good to see. And I think it's working quite well. And I'm hoping, like you said, realistically it's going to be a mix of some players perhaps that weren't on Lopetegui's radar, but Tim Steiten's brought them in because it's kind of the Red Bull model, I think, even though some of you don't believe that. It is there, but it's a bit of a mix at the moment because it's a 2-year contract. Reasonably, 24 months is not a long time, but that's why we bought some players at 29, 30, 31 to hit the ground running, and to mix it in with people like Guillermo, who we don't expect to see anything too much until next season, as an example, really. So that's why there's a bit of a mix. But as time goes on, hopefully Lopetegui does well. He gets a longer contract. Then you'll begin to see even properly young players coming through because he'll have a settled team. And then you won't have any more windows where, like a little bit in Moyes' time as well, you're buying 8, 9. That's far too many for any club. It's crazy, right? But the reason we did that is because David Moyes didn't utilise every window to its full potential. He very often didn't sign anyone. We very often signed people with the 2 days to go, and there were Sullivan signings because Moyes wouldn't sign anyone. We hated the January window. When you've only got 2 windows, I kept saying you got to enjoy and love both of them. Moyes was always slagging off the windows, always slagging off bringing new people in. He always just used to keep saying, no, there's no right player out there. We'll wait when we see one. We'll let you know. We're happy with what we got. Well, mate, you got what you happy with last season after January sitting since. You bought no one. You played the players into the ground, and you know what you got. You lost your job, mate, didn't you, really? But be patient with Lopetegui. Couple of concerns. I know I was saying I don't really look at pre-season results, but I do look at performances, and we were fairly open, I felt, last week. And I know a lot of substitutions are made, and I think it's all to do with so many new players coming in, so many substitutions are being made. It'll take time. We've got to improve that squad. That's why 3 out the back 5 is going to be new. That's even the club and the manager luckily kind of realised that as well. So just bear with it. I mean, like I said, even if we're in the bottom 5 after 10 games, just stick with it because you can see good things happening. We're going to be playing better football under the new manager, David Moyes. I kind of sixth sense. I like the manager. I like the way he interacts with the players. I kind of like his personality. I like he's got a bit of comedy on him. He's done that funny things with Danny Dyer. He looks quite in good spirits when he showed the training videos, but at the same time, he's got that command of respect kind of figure with him. When he walks in the room, you look at him. He's got a lot of knowledge. He regards himself as a proper coach. Harry Redknapp, Martin O'Neill, you might not know that they rarely used to take on training during the weekdays. Harry was largely very active in the transfer market and a man manager. He had one way of playing, and that's consistent throughout his career. There's no need for him, I think, to do any drills. He felt he had a very large backroom team for a reason. They did all the training. Martin O'Neill was the same. Some players say we only used to see Martin just before the game in the dressing room. An absolutely amazing motivator. That was his key. So every manager's different. David Moyes was a coach, but then you got bored of just seeing him coach all the time. I don't think he let any of his number two, number three, number fours do much. Certainly not have as much influence. Perhaps they're like that's why so many left. One of them's worked on the Southgate, the Euros, and the Nevin. So it'd be interesting to see the backroom team, how they work and things like that. What will happen today? But going back to the Premiership being strong, it's not cliche. I think this morning I've just seen Bournemouth have bought a Brazilian striker, 40 million. So every team is going to have very, very good players in it. A lot of money they've got. And I think they've still got more money in the kitty after selling Solanke 65 million. United, they bought a lot of players. One's injured. They need a centre back till next year. Those kind of things happen. Liverpool have got a lot of money. They haven't spent much. We'll go into a bit later, but I got a feeling they'll be in for kudos next summer, maybe. Arsenal put one or two in as well, but they'll go again, and largely everyone's favourites to win the league. Let's see what happens. It's all about injuries. I feel if Saka or Rice get injured, the team will come tumbling down. They rely on them too a lot. Last 2 years, Arteta's been very lucky with the majority of that back four all fit, and especially Saka probably hasn't missed. He's like Rice, and they never miss a game, them two. But sooner or later, something's going to happen, isn't it? I'm not wishing it, but it just happens, doesn't it? And then I think they'll come down. City's very concerning. Their squad's just all over the place, I think. It looks a bit minimal up front, and they need to start doing things quick. Talking about them, Obama's gone there. I don't know what's going on, but I think we're getting 1.7 million compensation or $1 million and something, so better than nothing, isn't it? So that's kind of happening over there. Newcastle will be thereabouts. Villa will be there, but Europe will ping them down a bit. So hopefully we can pinch seventh, but we'll be in there with United as well. Chelsea, huge squad, isn't it? Huge ins and outs from Chelsea as well. And lots of different things. The teams coming up. You got kind of Ipswich, Southampton with Downs. Walker Peters is staying where he is. And the more I think about it, I think because I was blowing the Walker Peters trumpet quite a lot, but I'm quite happy with them. Wan-Bissaka, I think, coming in really. What do I think will happen in terms of a score? If I'm again being honest, looking at other fans and other ex-players, they're expecting Villa to win. They might not say it, but I know they are the way they're talking and things like that. They're very concerned, quite worried. It's a very, very hard fixture. All our fixtures are hard, last 4 or 5, I think. But yeah, but we've done well against Villa apart from the last game. I think we largely got a lot of wins against them. Looking at their team yesterday when I was doing my fantasy football league, I think they got a lot of business to do yet because they lost Diaby, lost Douglas Luiz, two very, very important cogs in their machine. Watkins has barely featured in pre-season due to his England involvement. Expect him to hit the ground running. He looks shit hot in the Euros, super fit. So hopefully he's there or thereabouts. Onana's come in. He's no more better than what we've got. If anything, we've probably got a couple of players better than him in that CDM position. Interesting to see what happened there. They bought Martins, is it, the Dutch fullback, 40 million, but apparently Villa are not expecting him to put him in straight away. They're going to wait, give it a couple of games. Their goalkeeper's fairly established, fairly good. I'm thinking of a 2-2 draw, and I'll be happy with that, really. I think we've got a lot of goals in our team. I think that our bench is going to be a game changer this season. So you will be very pleased that we're going to play better football. The manager's going to make early and more substitutions, and every squad member, including the bench, will be fully utilised and rotated, including the cups. And I think you'll be very happy to hear that. And it might be like, God, music to your ears, but that is not like the transfer window. That's how people buy it. That's how normal managers, normal clubs go and try to buy players. And making substitutions is normal for every manager. We just had a fucking manager who didn't want to touch the ball, didn't want possession, didn't want to sign anyone, didn't want to make any subs, didn't want to pick anyone outside of 14. It was fucking weird, right? But a lot of people are like mentally scarred, thinking like, "Oh, Jazz, seriously, can we do something?" Well, you can, and you will find out, and you'll be very, very happy, and your blood pressure will be reasonably lower than it was last season during the games. Everyone, really. What else can we talk about? Let's go into the tactics a bit. You know, I can't help myself. I was looking at a few things this morning. Thought I'd get this show out early before I hit the Midlands, eh? Before I hit the Midlands. So let's share a screen. Let's see what we're going to start off with. Let's see, what should we look at? Let's have a look. Okay. Okay. This is a little bit what I thought the team would be today. And the reason for that is, and again, don't shoot me, it's not my team. This is how I think we're going to set up largely today. The reasons for that is a lot of signings. Some perhaps haven't trained properly. Some perhaps are not as fit as Lopetegui would like, because all new players are weighed. They do fitness tests. Perhaps it doesn't reach a certain manager's levels. Uh, and perhaps he wants to be respectful for some of the players, give them a bit of a chance. It's all those reasons, right? That's why you got people like Kufal in there, Souček in there, Antonio in there. For all those reasons I mentioned, like Antonio looks fitter, bit more up for it than last season because he's got competition in Fulkrug. So maybe Lopetegui's like, let's give him a chance. Let's see how hungry he looks. Let's see how he looks, because he scored in the preseason, then he against Palace is very good goal, very good finish. The rest of them are, like you said, Kudus, Bowen, Paqueta, Emerson, Areola. They're the only ones I see remaining in the team from last year's batch. They're very, very reliable, very, very consistent, really. Kilman, Todibo, yep, I think they'll be playing together. Very, very exciting partnership. We'll go a bit more into why they've come in, how they're going to play, what their attributes are. I'll go into that in the next screen. But this is what I largely see. Worry is Kufal up against pace. I'm not sure what side Bailey plays on, but last season certainly Villa had a lot of pace down the wings. Kufal, yeah, he's going to get stung, and Basaka could start. That's the one that I could be wrong. Basaka could start because it is a worry with Villa. So that's kind of my feelings on that, everyone. Right, let me just show you something else now. Hang on. Let me just bring the bubbles back in again. Sorry about that. Let's close that down. Okay, so that was the team I felt he was going to play. Right, this is a team I would have played. We did talk about this in my tactics show earlier this week. This is what I would do. I just want to hit the ground running. We're at home. We've got the fans in good spirits. It'll be a lovely sunny day. Let's hit Villa. They will not know much about Fulkrug. They will not know that much about Somerville. He wasn't in the league last season. Rodriguez hasn't played in the Premiership. Todibo hasn't played in the Premiership. So a lot of surprises there for them, and I like that. If that team sheet lands on the Villa manager's desk, he's got to think about a lot of things quickly, unknown things. Do you know what I mean? We know a lot about their team. So again, it's just self-explanatory. You've got 3 new players in the back 5. Kilman, Todibo, Wan-Bissaka. Alvarez is at 80-85%. In the past, he would have played because we would not have had anyone to back him up. This season's different. No need to play players even at 90%. No need to risk them because we've got backup. Rodriguez, very capable, 30-year-old Argentinian, good caliber. Really, really good player that Barcelona kind of wanted. And again, I will go into why they wanted him. Somerville, Player of the Year at Leeds, Championship Player of the Year. Had an okay season year before that in the in the Premiership, 20 odd games, playing in his natural position that he did for Leeds. So a lot of these players, which is key, is that you play them in the position they come from, because that's why you signed them. Somerville did well on the left wing, scoring goals, setting up goals, scoring penalties. Stick him in the same position. Why would you stick Somerville in the middle? Why would you put him up front? Why would you put him in the number 10 role? Just stick it. It's common sense. It's common sense, right? Rodriguez, like you said, CDM, right? Wan-Bissaka, right back. Todibo, Kilman, left foot, right foot. There you go. Fulkrug up front on his own. He's fine with it. No problem. Right? Kudus and Bowen, they can interchange left, right, middle, whatever. So that's kind of that. What I'm going to show you now is Yeah. Once everyone is settled in, fully fit, up to January, I see this kind of lineup. It's not the lineup Lopetegui will do long term, right? We'll go into that in my next after this. But this current batch of squad, batch of players he's got, this is the best tactics and lineup I think he feels he can do. But like I said, he wants to play a bit differently, but this is what he's going to go with because you can't change bloody everything in 2 months, whatever he's been here, right? So back four, back five, as we spoke about. Rodriguez, Alvarez, the sitting CDMs, Paqueta, just sitting in advanced, doing a bit of CDM job, but largely trying to make things happen, right? Kudus and Bowen on the wings, close to full Krug, really. That's kind of what I see happening, really, with that. Now I'm going to go on to. Let me go on to what I think Lopetegui long term wants to emulate, copy, and I'm sorry to put Arsenal up there, but I needed a good team that plays 4-3-3, and I think this is what he wants to do. I'm just gonna have some orange. This, I believe, is Lopetegui's long-term plan for West Ham United. 4-3-3, flat back four. Very good 1-to-1 defenders, very strong. The centre backs are very good with possession, very comfortable with possession and good at passing. Long passes, short passes, technically very good on the ball. Centre backs. Full backs largely as well. Very good 1-to-1 defenders, and you've seen some of that in their recruitment. That's what he's looking for, right? Goalkeeper, well, self-explanatory. Right, the three in the middle. Partey, solid CDM. But I think he'd be more technical. I think the CDM that Lopetegui will have will be better on the ball and more technically proficient like Partey. Excuse me if I don't know Partey that well. I just thought Partey was a bit like Alvarez. Solid CDM. Goes around snapping, breaking legs. I didn't think he could dribble. Actually, I might not be giving him enough credit. I think I've seen him do one or two good things. So maybe I'm not quite right on that. But yeah, all these three, Odegaard, Rice, all what they got in common is they're very mobile. They're mobile, they can put their foot in, and they can pass the ball. You know, like I kept mentioning Ian Bishop's, John Moncur's, Martin Allen's before that, maybe Jeff Pike before that, and players who can CDMs, but they're also good midfielders, and you can see more of that from Rice. Rice is more and more comfortable recently, bringing the ball out from midfield to the penalty area, having a few shots. He takes the corners now, so much more than a CDM, much more than a winger. So those three are all, and they're hard to find, but I'll come into that a little bit when I show you what our team could look like once the final recruitment, the next 2-3 windows are done for Lopetegui. But this is what he's looking at, right? Then the wingers are largely the front three. So Trossard is your winger stroke forward. Saka is your winger stroke forward. Those two we can emulate in Kudus and Bowen, which I'll show you in the next window. Havertz, again, all-rounder. Bit of a number 9, bit of a number 10, bit of a striker, bit of a winger. So interchanging. So the three, again. So these 6, 3 up front, 3 midfielders or whatever you want. They've got many different aspects of the game they can do. Like I said, they're very physical, but very good with the ball, very good attacking, very good defending, very good passing. They can do it all. There's players out there that can do that. Wolves largely have had loads of them, incidentally, who Lopetegui managed. And maybe he found a lot of these abroad in the Spanish league. Technically, very skillful, very technical league, isn't it, really? Especially possession-based. This is what I think Lopetegui wants to do. Now, if I show you what he can, maybe what he wants to do, his wish and things like that. So if we try to set up in the same way, I'll show you what the problems are. Back four's fine. He wants the back four to defend as a group, which naturally good managers do. So Wan-Bissaka will probably want him to tuck in a little bit when we're defending, and then try to go a little bit on the width if you can. Todibo, Kilman, amazing. One of Europe's finest centre-backs, both of them, in terms of distribution with the ball at their feet. Todibo's strength, like I kept mentioning, you look at all the YouTube videos, is him pinging the ball like a central midfielder. So Todibo's strengths are passing short, passing long, accelerating with the ball at his feet into the penalty area or into the opposition box. That's his key strengths. Marking, he's not bad. Heading, he's average, like I said. That's the only thing in his game. Perhaps that's why he's never played for a Champions League team, or perhaps didn't quite make it. But that's kind of what it is. Kilman's the same. I think they're both going to complement each other. Kilman's very good in the air. Wan-Bissaka's not small. Hopefully he can help. So these two in Europe have got the basis of being one of the best partnerships from Europe if they can. You know, they're not cheap, 40 million and 35 million, whatever, do you know? So these two will have reasonable pace, technically very sound. And then if we really under pressure, then Rodriguez will drop back and protect the four, really. So Paqueta, I think he can kind of do that role as long as you don't expect him to go on the wing too much. So if he sticks to the halfway line and comes in a bit, which he naturally does, that'll be all right as long as Kudus stays out there. I don't want too many people coming out of position, but I think it could work if Paqueta learns to control and keep the ball more than he does. He can cut in. We don't expect him to go on the left wing because I don't think he naturally will. He naturally likes to cut in. Rodriguez, he's fine. Barcelona, we're going to use him in that position. And if Barcelona want you to be in that position, dictating play, putting your foot in and put your foot on the ball, then that says it all, right? So Rodriguez, that's why he's come in. I think in time next year, we will get a new left back, I think. Creswell will be gone. And then we'll have a really young back four, and hopefully Todibo, let's see how he settles in the Premiership, really. But the idea is two centre-backs, left foot, right foot, really good at passing from the back and starting up attacks and running with it. They're very comfortable at that, and that's kind of what Lopetegui wants. Wan-Bissaka, one of the best one-to-one defenders, just got to improve in the final third. We'll see how much Lopetegui wants him to do that. Because the Man United fullback yesterday, he was more of a up and down attacking fullback, but Wan-Bissaka's better defensively. Just depends which way you want it. And then the three, Alvarez is the one that doesn't fit in. I don't think Alvarez is as good as Rice, obviously, or as good as Odegaard or one or two others. I think that's where the move will happen. Where after that, Carlos Soler, is it, the PSG guy? He can do it all. He can fit into where Alvarez is. I don't know what side Carlos plays at, but he can do that. He can set up goals, he can tackle, he can pass. He can dictate the play. So that's why we're after him, right? And that's why I'm not sure about Alvarez then going forward. I think Rodriguez might get the nod ahead of him. We'll see what happens, you know. That's kind of what we're looking at, everyone. And Paqueta, we'll see how he gets on. But looking at the Arsenal, that's what we're trying to emulate. Up front, Kudus and Bowen exactly meet the criteria of Lopetegui. They're very good wingers / strikers, I call them. Kudus, Ajax, 4-3-3, used to play in all those positions, left, right, in the middle. Kudus used to play with Rodriguez does. Kudus used to play with Fulgrig did for Ajax. Paqueta for Lyon, he used to play in the 4-3-3 as well. And he could play with Rodriguez's. On the other, on where we put him, right? The only reason we used to have a go at Paqueta playing, because it was 4-2-3-1 on the wing, and then he didn't quite have it as a winger. In this system, Kudus is more or less the winger. Paqueta can do a little bit less behind him. He can cut in, like I said, set it up, do his little number 10 tricks and flicks. You know what I mean? It works in this one. Fulgrig, let's see how technically good he is with the ball at his feet. I think he's all right. Whether he's a long-term solution, I don't think so. I think he'll be good for 2 years. I think the contract says that. The age says that. But so we've got to bide for a couple of years until we got the money for the right players. We can't do everything. We have changed a lot. Like I said, three out the back four. That's amazing in a few weeks. That's great. And then you got Rodriguez full. So we've done a lot. We've done a lot. But this is what's going to be the end result if Lopetegui can stay a couple of years or longer. He's going to go 4-3-3. It's going to be very technically high level team, possession based, trying to make things happen, not tippy tappy football, trying to have possession, keep possession, but advance slowly. And then when you're defending, you defend as a very strong unit. So Rodriguez is very much sometimes part of that back four. But at the same time, Kilman and Todibo will be able to bring the ball out up to the halfway line or beyond, be comfortable doing that. And perhaps Rodriguez can go and fill in one of those centre-back positions if they do advance a lot. Or Kilman and Todibo can win the ball, which all the defenders are going to be good at that. Winning the ball, Wan-Bissaka, one defending, A1. Give it to Rodriguez. And unlike Souček, unlike a little bit Alvarez, Rodriguez will be very comfortable with the ball. He's playing 4 years in Spain from Argentina. If you can't control the ball, you can't play in any of those countries. You see what I mean? So very, very unique, very, very modern, very, very different. But at the same time, I think Lopetegui will have more than one formation per game and during a game. So, but this is largely, I think, what he's thinking about really. So that was that. The show has gone on far too longer than I wanted, 36 minutes. I hope you enjoyed that. But I think it was good. I'll bring a bit more of that on the tactics show separately in case someone misses it. I will do it again because I think it's very, very important what the message I'm trying to tell everyone really. So that's it from me. It's 37 minutes. I'm going to give you a morning. Back to you. And hopefully whoever's going, have a safe journey. Enjoy yourselves. Hopefully we have a positive result. And that's always nice in the season, unbeaten anyway. I don't want to lose the first game. I don't want to think about that, really. So we'll catch up again tomorrow. I'm probably not going to have a time to do, after full time, the video. I'm not going to be at home or near the studios. So it is what it is. I'll try to do one later on tonight when I get back. I'll probably do that for you guys. And we'll take it from there. So have a great, great day. Come on, you Irons. Let's get a win. And hopefully, we'll be all happy in the evening.